right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Get it started in here. I know one thing that'll help viewership. Me not singing. I assume you agree. I said one thing that'll help viewership. Me not singing. That should definitely help viewership. Me not singing. All right. We have Kyle Bradish versus Mackenzie Gore. I remember the first time I ever saw a player in the big leagues that was younger than me. I felt so old. And it like really like hit me like a ton of bricks. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it's like Mr. Perfect and Randy Savage, somebody that while they died young as far as people age, at least I grew up watching them.
And welcome in, everybody.
Yeah.
Glad you're with us. Interleague baseball.
Well, there's a lot of people I could say that
MLB
about.
The Show. It's the
I'm not
Baltimore
going to repeat what
Orioles
you said since I'm streaming, but
First pitch coming your way next.
well, the Flair actually had the most profound, one of the more profound tweets when all that happened. He said, in the span of what 48 hours,
So just about
what
set
you
to go.
know,
And today's starting
a
pitcher,
legend
Mackenzie Gore. And singing
dies in
along
his
earlier
70s, a
about
good
he's doing
friend,
a great job
and the
navigating
son
through
of a
tough
good friend.
situations. I've just been so
Like
impressed with when it seems
two
like there's been
completely
no
opposite
pressure.
sides of the
He just
spectrum as far as
calm and
age,
settles in. He's done an incredible job
experience.
with runners in scoring position. Most guys get a little tight, they start to
I mean, if that's not
aim the
a
baseball.
telltale sign of
He gets looser, the ball comes out of
when
his
your
hand
time
with
is up,
more life, and he's
it
able to
don't matter who
pull
you
off a
are.
walk of tough situations and get his team back in the dugout. Jordan Westburg, the leadoff batter, as he looks at ball one.
Like me and Brian were talking about something, and I told him, I said, Father Time is undefeated.
Headed down the line, and it's just foul.
You know something I don't?
Here comes the pitch. Ripped to short. One up, one down. Time now to take a
Well,
look at
by
the
that
Orioles
time, you and
lineup
I are going to be
presented by
long
manager
dead. So,
Brandon Hyde. These guys can really pile up the runs, Chris. They're among the top teams in scoring this year.
Yeah, and when you can get a lead and be out in front, it really changes what that opposing manager can do with his bullpen. And on top of that, it helps your own pitching staff. It gives them more margin for error. So instead of guys squeezing the ball, trying to throw darts and be perfect, they can relax, let the ball come out of their hands, and pitch effectively. So that offense and the ability to score runs also helps the pitching and the defense.
Hey, man, 4 pitches, 2 outs. That is an excellent pace. Gunnar Henderson, the next
as you
hitter
see
for
at the
the
bottom
Orioles.
of the screen,
Homered last night, added another hit as well. And a breaking ball
thank
drops in
you.
for a strike. 2 outs, base is empty.
As you see, the Orioles did acquire Jason Foley.
Very high with that one. And the count is
Yes, no
1-0.
relation to Mick Foley, or Mankind, or Dude Love, or Cactus Shack, or anybody else Mick Foley wants to be.
And another ball.
Good purpose pitch right there, trying
But
to tease him
Mrs.
to get
Foley's
into the
baby boy
racing
did not have
space,
a good
pop
first outing for
something
the
up,
Orioles.
and make it an easy out.
That's in there. And now 2-2.
Up that box.
2 outs. To the right side. Boots it. And he's going to make it to first. And we'll see how they score.
Batting fourth.
Anthony Santander at the plate. Right now, third in the American League in RBIs.
Orioles are scoring too many runs lately. I need them to win, but still be in save range so I can get some saves and some holds.
And it's even up. Quick chase that time.
Good zip on that fastball at the bottom of the zone. If he's there all day, it's going to be a tough one for the hitters.
And the pitch. Stays alive.
And I'll get this out. Please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. There are links in my description for other great YouTube content creators that I highly recommend.
So that's 2 straight 2-out hits. Goes to third, in there. And now they've got runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Somebody did point out to me I need to start saying that earlier in the video because
Caught it out front and ripped it into the outfield for the base hit. Those always feel great.
Now it's Melton. He
Ryan Mountcastle with a huge
home run.
3-run homer.
A gigantic blast. It's 3-0. He only needed 1 swing to square it up.
Not wasting any time in that at bat.
Like he's playing against Toronto.
Chris, that ball came out hot. So let's see what StatCast has to say.
Yeah, it really did, Boog. 111 miles per hour off the bat and really nice launch angle as well. Just a beautiful
111 off the bat.
to finish.
447 feet.
Colton Cowser now at the plate. That's a hit.
What in the world? I mean, I know you're playing Road to the Show, but what the heck was that?
Didn't take long to get a result for that at bat. That's
Oh,
about as
okay.
textbook as it gets.
I figured that, but I'm like,
Out of the way early. He stayed inside that ball and squared it up out front. Man, that was like he was in.
Well, gonna pause on that thought.
all right.
That'll do it for the inning.
Kyle Bradish goes to the mound with 3 runs of run support
It's now
before he
3-0.
even throws a
It's
pitch,
Major League Baseball, and it's on the show.
which means I'll probably give up 4 runs in the first inning.
Back here with my pal Singy. Starting on the mound in this one, Kyle Bradish.
Yeah, right. You and I were just talking about that. Nobody throws a complete game anymore.
Consistently good performances in order to bring that
I see the Nationals signed Big Meat Pete Alonso.
Trusted and really go after hitters, not nibble. Trusted his stuff.
The polar bear.
And miss barrels of bats.
C.J. Abrams stands in now and watches strike 1. The shortstop takes the ball.
Well, after putting up a nice inning on offense, got some runs across, this is where you look for the starter to go out there, have a shutdown inning. Don't give that other team any hope. You just hope that he can get through this inning, get the bats back up there while they're hot.
Next offering way off the plate. And he walked him.
It's tough after falling behind.
And what do you do after getting a 3-run lead? You walk the leadoff batter. That's
Start against a new batter, but he needs to get back into the strike zone and start pitching with conviction.
Snap throw down to second.
I literally thought I heard him say he's taking off.
The 0-2. And they'll do it again. And a pitch. That misses. And that's ball 1. The Nationals trailing by 3 here in the second and final game of the series. That's off the mark, and it's 2-2. Fights it off. You'll see another. Spoils that one, and it remains 2-2. Righty delivers. And that one's a little bit low. And that's ball 3. And it's ball 4. He missed.
Oh, goody. Walks first 2 batters of the game.
After a long at-bat. Here's Pete Alonso.
Well, that's a nice job of grinding out that at-bat. Saw a lot
And
of
who comes?
pitches and ends up drawing the wall. Very gritty.
Let's see what he does with Big Meat Pete here.
Since debuting in 2019, no player in the majors has hit more homers than Pete Alonso. That misses the zone, and it's 2-1. Slider for a strike.
Just a really nice slider down and in there. He wants to get the hitter thinking fastball, speed him up, and just subtract some velocity and add a little movement.
Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. And the righty deals. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Hood gets talked about a lot, but a good high fastball, two-strike situation, it's just become such
We are okay, Brian. How are you?
more recent years. But with all of the emphasis by pitchers on developing that spin rate, having a good grip on the baseball, those high fastballs, they kind of look like to the hitter that they're rising, even though they're not, but they're...
Henderson to second, there's 1, and that's 2. So they're able to work around a pair of walks in the inning. Second inning coming up from our nation's capital. It's the Orioles 3 and the Nationals nothing. Back here in Nationals Park. Second inning set to go. And into the box for Baltimore, Connor Norby. Gore back to work. In the air, left field, under it. 1 down.
Just pulled off of it a little bit right there. That front shoulder coming open instead of staying closed. If he does that, he's going to be able to go up.
Nothing more dangerous than Mother Nature's Father Time. Because he's undefeated.
Rusty Valentine doing the umpiring behind the dish for us. Maybe the best name in the league.
Yeah, that's a solid one, no doubt. I mean, who's better to ask than you? I kind of wonder, Rusty's his actual name or just a nickname?
Yeah, no clue. So back to the top of the Orioles lineup. Jordan Westburg getting ready to hit. Big knock center field. And that keeps the inning going.
Anyways, Rusty's got a good zone, very good on the corners of the plate, but he'll give pitchers a little bit above the letters and below the knees if they're earning it.
Here's Adley Rutschman. And a strike on the outside edge.
Orioles with an early 3-0 lead, looking to sweep this short 2-game series.
And very nicely done for the out. What a play to end the inning. There's no way he saw that into the glove.
No, you're absolutely right. All he knew was the grounder was somewhere behind him. Just threw his glove out there and it stopped. That was pretty cool.
Bottom of the inning. And it's the catcher for the Nationals.
There's the Orioles defense. You got Colton Cowser in left. Jorge Mateo Santander. Mountcastle, Norby, Henderson, and Westburg.
The pitch. And there's a ball.
A 3-0 lead is great, but you can't get too comfortable. Got to stay aggressive, keep attacking hitters, try to cruise through this ball game.
2-0 to count. Here it comes. That one way inside. And there's the automatic. And there's a foul ball.
Hebert Louise.
And there's ball 4.
And Kyle Bradish cannot find the strike zone today. He's his 3rd walk already.
That's 1 out the bottom of the second. And now the center fielder, Dylan Cruz.
got to figure if this keeps up, A, he's not going to last long in the game because of pitch count. B, eventually the walks are going to come back to bite him. He was able to dance around them in the first inning.
Hit in the air, center field. Henderson on the move, makes the grab on the run. 2 down.
Now, that's a tough play for the infielder, ranging back into the outfield. There's part of him that's saying, hey, where you at, outfielder? Call me off. But he stayed focused and made a nice catch right there.
Abraham Toro in the box with 2 gone. Takes a look at
And kids, just a public service announcement. If you missed the news yesterday, if you're lucky enough to be in the very small percentage of people that play Major League Baseball, don't bet on Major League Baseball. And when they take you into your meeting in spring training and explain to you that you don't bet on Major League Baseball and you sign the paper that says you won't, make sure you understand what you're signing. And if you don't understand, and if you actually don't understand what you're signing, ask questions. You do realize that. Not only do they have them sign something, they have a meeting. So there's no, I refuse to believe, and both of those walks will score. It's now 3-2 Orioles. I did.
But now a chance to maybe get creative on offense with good speed on first.
And that one fouled off.
But and I'm sorry, so there's no way that those players did not know what they were doing. There's no way. There's
still in the second, already at 44 pitches, so some concern there. Battling here as he fouls it away. And another ball. 2-2. On the ground to third. Whips it to first on the run. That ends the frame. They put 2 on the board with a couple of hits, no errors, and 1 left. On to the third inning. Here's the shortstop at the play, Gunnar Henderson.
And we have moved Gunnar Henderson to third in the lineup. Westberg is now our leadoff hitter.
Back to work.
So after scoring runs, this is where you're looking for that shot.
Wanted to give our best overall hitter more of a chance to drive in runs.
Simply getting the bat on the ball in this game, and the numbers back that up. It's tough to remember the times they've actually swung and missed at a pitch because it really hasn't happened. They've made contact on nearly 100% of their swings.
Well, and that brings up an interesting. You bring up something I like, and I don't know what's. I obviously don't know the verbiage in the agreement that they signed. You know, but that being said, without knowing what's in the verbiage, what would stop a player's wife or significant other from placing the bets? Unless it's set up otherwise. Actually, I mean, well, as far as everyday people nowadays, that's more and more common than you'd think. No, I'm talking about a married couple having separate accounts. Oh, trust me, I know.
Slicing into right field. A dive, and he can't haul it in. In to score is the runner from third. It's 4-2. Round second, digging for third. And he's got an RBI triple.
Comes through with the RBI. Off the bat, that one registered at 105 miles per hour, man. That is smart.
I would imagine that there's got to be something in that verbiage to stop the wife, significant other, as what I would love to see the verbiage that the players sign. I'd imagine if you look hard enough, you can probably find it on the internet. Well, just like Pete Rose, he can apply for reinstatement. He might just because he actually admitted that he did it. Unlike, see, that's the thing. That's the thing with Pete Rose. I truly believe if he would have admitted it years ago, like even the commissioner, Bart Giamatti, that took over from Faye Vincent. My understanding is from listening to interviews with Johnny Bench, they came up with an avenue to bring Pete Rose back to baseball like a year or two after he was. All he had to do was admit that he bet, admit that he gambled, or bet on baseball, and serve an additional 1-year suspension, and he refused to admit that he bet on baseball because he, at the time, was steadfast that he didn't. That's my other biggest problem with Pete Rose is he lied about it for years, and then when he finally admitted it, he didn't admit it because he woke up and had an attack of morality. He admitted it because he wrote a book and he wanted to sell books.
The Orioles up by 2 here in the second and final game of the series.
Just like O.J. Simpson writing a book. Hypothetically, if I had, this is what I would have. This is how I would have done it.
Well, he hasn't quite settled in out there. 4 runs in 3 innings. He's going to have some quick 1, 2, 3 innings to pitch deep into this ballgame.
That one ripped left field. That's back there. And it's
Connor Norby home run.
His first homer of the year, and they add to their lead. It's 5-2.
And that shot makes their grip on the lead even tighter. Well, he put a really nice swing on that one. And everything was on time, took a direct path to the ball, excellent extension, and just drove it out of here. Nothing better than when the ball jumps off your bat like that.
But I believe with everything in me that if Pete Rose had admitted years ago that he'd bet on baseball, I believe he would be in the Hall of Fame right now. And I'll even go as far as to say, I say let him in the Hall of Fame. Just ban him from any MLB related activities. Let him in the Hall of Fame, but he can't attend his own enshrinement. Much like all the other major.
That's a base hit, and that's a double.
Well, the first reaction was bad, and it created the wrong angle. I think it was a catchable ball, but because he doesn't get a good read off the bat, turns it into a double.
Okay, Barry Bonds is a different situation, but I don't have a single problem with Pete Rose not. Look, I took a field trip in 5th grade to Camden Yards. I don't know if it's still there because I haven't taken a stadium tour in a long time. But there were big signs in the dugouts. Do not bet on baseball. But that's my point. You know, and you can't. Let's forget about Barry Bonds for a second. Let's just talk about Pete Rose. You can't call the Hall of Fame a joke just because the guy with the most hits isn't in, because it isn't. No, you can't, because he broke a rule of baseball that he knew. Well, but then you're making the point for what I was trying to say was, let him into the Hall of Fame. Don't let him attend the Cooperstown every year. Don't let him even attend his own enshrinement. Let him into the Hall of Fame, but keep him banned from anything MLB related. You know, I mean,
everything was on time and fluid in that swing. Got a pitch he could kick the barrel on and lined it into center for the knock. Those always feel good.
Cruz stands in here, takes ball one low. On the ground, 2 ball. Henderson lost the second. What a double.
So you think even if somebody cheats the game, they should be allowed to be in the Hall of Fame?
And no one left. On to the top of the 5th we go. It's the Orioles 5 and the Nationals 2.
Well, no, okay, I guess we're still talking. Pete Rose didn't really, but Bonds did. Steroids.
Now it's the right fielder, Anthony.
And if somebody, and please don't say to me they weren't.
The pitch. This one popped up.
Hey, you're not telling me there's not hypocrisy. I agree with you that no player that tested positive should be allowed in the Hall of Fame.
The next to hit for the Orioles. It's interesting, he plays kind of a power spot defensively, but runs pretty well. So when you're looking at that position, you're not expecting someone that has maybe above average speed, but he does. One down, base is empty. Foul ball there.
And I think that skill set really upgrades the position, because when you have that kind of speed, it makes the whole team that much better.
The only guy that I know of that, other than David Ortiz that you just pointed out, the only other guy that I know of that was even suspected of steroids that is in the Hall of Fame, well, there's 2. Jeff Bagwell's name was out there from the 90s, and Mike Piazza's name was out there. Both of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. Now, there was never a positive test with either one of those guys. There was never.
You can see why. It's not a looping slow curve. He throws it hard, and it gets plenty of bite on the end.
Cowser stands in with 2 away as he takes a ball. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit.
But I mean, and here's where I will make your argument about the Hall of Fame being a bit of a joke, I guess. It's almost like in high school getting elected prom king or queen. It's a popularity contest because it's all about how well you get along with the media. If Barry Bonds was nice to the media and gave all the interviews when he was a player and wasn't an arrogant, pompous, you know what, that I can't say because I'm streaming, he'd probably have more of the vote. How did you do that? You don't even play franchise mode.
And it's 2-2.
Not the easiest thing when you're talking about a guy that's
Oh, okay.
perhaps is going to be in the rotation.
Did they have? Now let me ask you, because I've actually done that in years ago. I did that in franchise mode,
And try to get yourself
and there was actually commentary
Couple of base runners at first and
when that player would come to bat. Every once in a while, they'd be like, "He's at 35 getting late," and when it got really close to the streak,
clearly didn't come out of his hand the right way. Left
it would say,
spoils the 2-strike pitch.
"Oh,
and he'll see
sorry."
another. 2 outs.
Me too, because I have.
And that hit him. He had 2 strikes on him.
Well, plus I have my sound adjusted to hear you more than I do the game.
That misses.
But it was like, I remember when I years ago I did it with Melvin Mora in franchise mode, and like that his last like 6 games, there'd be certain commentary in there that, oh my god, when I tell you what, bro, I tell you I felt the pressure. I was like, my god, this is a video game, and I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what a real life player would.
28 years old, and he was a 5th-round pick back in 2016.
That's one record I don't think will ever be broken.
Leadoff man set down in their half of the 5th. Alex
next for
Cole
the Nationals.
digging in for the Nationals.
Yeah, just think about it.
Single that drove in a
Let's
run
say,
his first time through.
let's say somebody even got to 54 games, right? Theoretically, all a pitcher would have to do is get him out in his first at bat, and then walk him every at bat the rest of the game.
And down 2-1.
You know what I mean?
He was a little out front, but did a good job keeping
I always said if anybody was going to do it, it would have been Ichiro, but I don't even know what his longest hit streak was.
And that one is lifted in the air. Henderson on the move. Can't get there, and now maybe extra bases. Now the tag at second, and he's out. Trying for 2.
Gotta love the hustle.
It's over a third of the season.
Try to stretch that single into a double, but unfortunately thrown out at second base. He was so
No, it's over a third. They play 150. They play 156 games? 162, you're right. I'm thinking of the pre-1962.
Here's C.J. Abrams to hit. And first off,
But that's still a third.
And a pitch. 1-1. The Nats trailing by 3. Last half of inning number 5. On the ground. Whips it to Mountcastle. Out number 3. And the Nationals gone in order. They trail at 5. Back here in Nationals Park. Down the third baseman.
But my point is, if anybody gets close, you know the managers are going to like give instructions. Don't give them anything to hit. Once you give them out once,
The pitch. And first offering is fouled off.
You know, these Orioles, digging into their numbers, have to be happy
I don't
with
know.
the swings they're taking. They have 5 extra base hits on the stat sheet so far, and that tells me they're seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand really well.
Right-handed reliever. This to third. Toro. Jump throw. And that's one out as they get the leadoff hitter in the 6th. Now here is Adley Rutschman.
I have a response for that, but again, don't want to say it because I'm streaming.
Rutschman.
That's a hit. So a man aboard now with 1 away.
Waste no time there. Anytime you rip a line drive the other way, you feel really good about what you did at the plate. You trusted your hands, you let the ball travel, and you took the barrel straight to it. That's great work right there.
And now, right side. Alonso.
Well, Barry Bonds would have loved that in his career.
Second is offline.
I mean,
Next for the Orioles.
yeah, but he would have in theory gotten more pitches to hit.
And a foul ball.
Bonds is the only guy I ever saw get intentionally walked with the bases loaded. And if I remember right, I think it was Buck Showalter was the manager of the opposing team, and he said, "I'd rather give up 1 run than 4." But you're also sitting there in the press conference basically saying, "I had no confidence in my pitcher to get this guy out." I'm correct about. Are you saying, Brian? Are you saying I'm correct that it was Buck Showalter that was the manager when they walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded?
Maybe missed it, and they bail you out.
And into the box for Baltimore, Ryan Mountcastle. He's done some damage. Launched a homer at his first at bat back in the first.
Yeah, that was a tone setter, no doubt. I mean,
Oh.
you can stomach an early solo homer, but a 3-run shot just doesn't go down quite as.
Even though it's I don't have PlayStation Plus anymore, remember? Why do you think we never finished our GM mode last year, remember? I never renewed it.
They kept him in the yard that time, but all he's doing now is passing the baton, and everything seems to get started around this guy.
Brian said I was correct about something, but he didn't tell me what I'm correct about. I'm not used to somebody telling me I'm right.
He's so good about trying to drive the ball to the opposite field gap in these situations. If he takes that approach, he could bust this game wide open.
Two outs. And another ball.
So, Brian, I'm assuming you're still here, right, Brian?
Bounce to the right side. Garcia tosses the first out to escape a bases-loaded jam. Back in Washington, D.C. Well, we go bottom 6.
Gotcha, okay. It was when he was managing the Diamondbacks.
The pitch. And he drops it down the third baseline. Here comes a pitch. And now the count is even.
You once told me you wouldn't play AEW Fight Forever if it was free.
This to center field. Mateo snags it, and there's one down. At the plate, Pete Alonso.
I will say, I will give him this. It can't be that bad because I have played some bad wrestling games in my day. And it can't be that bad.
Outside corner, there's a strike. Up the middle. Roll off line, he's safe. And a nice job there to keep him from getting away.
To me, like he got on the side of the ball a little too much right there. Maybe a little too casual as well with the throwing motion.
Fight for never.
You don't stay on top of the ball and really get out front and finish with a good release point. It's very easy to lose control of it to either side.
No strike. And that is in for a strike. It's 2-1.
Yeah, I set my feet with Norby. I can't believe.
And that one is inside.
Well, he's so great about hitting the ball the other way. He gets those arms extended. So right there,
Norby. Awesome play there.
So he can make that play. Okay.
And a foul ball. Pitch misses there, and it's 1-1. Runner at second, 2 down. Here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's in for a strike. On the ground to third, and he picks it up and he'll put it in his pocket. Ball and 2 strikes. That's foul off to the right side. Keeps the AB going.
I miss Matt Vasgersian.
Man on second, 2 down. Ground ball right side. Diving stop at first. Throw to the pitcher, and that's a great play for the out.
First, it looks like making the stop is the hardest part, but feeding to the pitcher on the move, I think even tougher. Great job of hitting that moving target. They're going to be fired up in the dugout.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can say that about. You can probably say that about any team's commentary or any game's commentary. Like even with baseball. Yeah, I missed the Dan Plesac and Harold Reynolds too, but let's see. But like even with the wrestling, problem's not Corey Graves and Michael Cole and Saxton. Yeah, because well, the fact that they still had them as the 3-man commentary, like Saxton hasn't done commentary in years.
And that's ball 2. And a swing and a miss.
2-1.
And he hits a ground ball right side. And he takes it himself for the out.
The batter
Now it's the second baseman.
Well, Brian, to be fair, you do realize that Chris Singleton is a former player. Like, you say you like Plesac and Reynolds because they were former players. So is Chris Singleton.
Thompson warming up as well. Comes up empty as he chases that one in the dirt.
1 strike.
I know who I would love.
So a foul ball makes it 1 and 2.
Sony Studios to go knock on the door of John Miller and get him to do the commentary.
And the count is 2 and 2.
Best baseball game. I'm not gonna. Okay, I won't say best. One of the best, most nostalgic baseball games I ever played was World Series Baseball '95 for the Sega Genesis. The graph.
2 down, nobody on. Here in the top half of inning number 7.
No, it was World Series Baseball '95. I'll never forget it because it was. I'll always remember that logo because it was the logo of the year the Braves actually won their first World Series. The graphics were, in my opinion, ahead of their time. Now, I mean, they didn't have franchise. They had what you call franchise or season mode now. It really was a season mode. There was no injuries. It's here's your 25 guys. Go through your schedule. But the best part about it, and anybody that remembers ESPN Sunday Night Baseball in the 90s, Chef's Kiss. It had John Miller and Joe Morgan on commentary. And my God, I could have listened to the soundtrack for that game for hours. Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. You're talking about the fact that, okay, I brought up the fact that I'm sorry, Brian, I forgot. The Braves beat Cleveland. Yes, you weren't an itch in your daddy's pants, but I forgot. Still hurts. There you go. You and Frog commiserate. They had to get through the Pirates to get to the World Series.
In the air, right field. Santander snags it on the run.
Look, there's Three guarantees in life: death, taxes, and Cleveland never winning a World Series.
Popped up foul territory behind the plate. Makes the catch. And there are two down. Now the left fielder, Alex Call.
I don't. Yeah, I think you're thinking of '94 when they got the. I think they may have got to the World. '93. Okay. Who did the Braves beat in the computer? Who did the Braves beat in the '95 NLCS? I hate that thing sometimes. I asked it who they beat in the 1995 NLCS, and it tells me on April 27th they beat the Giants. Thank you, Brian and Frog. You both basically said it at the same time.
Makes the catch in a goal. So they can't do anything with the leadoff single there. We look ahead to inning. Welcome back, and a new arm on the mound to start the eighth. Mason Thompson.
Pretty tight game, so they're looking for quality pitches out of him right
Hey,
now. Got to do his best to keep the score right where it is.
Brian, it could have been worse. I could have brought up 1997 when you guys lost to the Marlins, a wild card team that had only been in existence for 4 years.
Right there, started on the edge of the plate with the spin. You know it's going to finish well off the plate.
Next offering is downstairs. So definitely a little wild right out of the gate.
Oh wait, I just did bring it up.
Mound to this mound, but you've got to find
Oops.
a way to get ahead in the count quickly. He hasn't. We'll see how this at bat turns out.
And that one hammered back there. And he brings it into the warning track.
Every day during batting practice, these outfielders get about 10 minutes of balls in the gaps. They practice this, and when the game comes, they make the play perfect.
First offering is fouled off. Base is empty, one away, and we're in the top of the eighth.
Yeah, but that was all before division play. That was when the Atlanta was still in the West because they didn't realign them after they left Milwaukee. I never understood that. No, they were in the West. Until the Pirates won the East.
This guy's a fun guy to watch.
Because up until
battles up there, he doesn't take a pitch off at all. Makes it so difficult on the pitchers out there. You can tell they get frustrated with how long it takes.
I'm not saying the divisions aren't aligned strangely now. I'm just saying the divisions didn't get realigned until Bud Selig introduced the wild card in 94 or 95 was the first year for the wild card. I want to say 94 because I've been watching a lot of old baseball. No, the strike year was the first. But they still, it was still the first year for the three divisions in 94.
He features a sinker, a slider, a four-seamer, and he works in a changeup.
I'm just saying. Okay, Brian. Okay, you guys are both saying 95. Fine, 95. But I never understood because they left Milwaukee in the 70s or 60s, but they never realigned the divisions. So I know you are, Brian. I know you live on Baseball Reference.
I really like that swing, man. He didn't just
Do you mind?
push it.
Do you mind some friendly, uh, some friendly help with fantasy?
So the bases are loaded here, one man gone. Ryan Mountcastle, the next to hit for the Orioles. Pitches in the dirt, and that's ball one.
Well, this is a
If you
beautiful
spent
spot.
half as much time on Baseball Savant as you do Baseball Reference,
These pressure
you would be
situations.
the best fantasy player in our league.
Runner at third puts on the brakes. Bases still loaded.
So there you go. From 1966 to 1995, the Atlanta Braves played in the West because they never realigned the divisions.
That one fouled off. Bases loaded. One away.
I love Baseball Savant. I spent too much time on that page.
Left-hand hitter waits.
Looking at all the pretty red.
Count 1-2.
I see you picked Henry Davis up.
And a 1-2. Gets a piece and stays alive.
Between you, Amish,
Break this one open here in the
and
second.
Brian, you guys could build a team of all the players I've dropped,
Grounder might be two.
and probably be more competitive than your own teams.
So one run in the inning on this base hit. Now a 6-2 ball game. You're done.
It just shows how good I am at fantasy, but how impatient I am.
So he should come in throwing strikes, attacking these hitters.
Abrams stands in here. Tried to hold back his swing there, but went around. On the ground to first.
You're the only reason I didn't.
Out for the out.
Up next for the Nationals.
Stone Garrett digging in for the Nationals. Fastball for a strike. And it's 0-1. That to right.
But here's the problem though. Like Dean's alley, I should have just held on to him longer than I did. But like Brandon Wu and Gill, right? If you go back and look at who I dropped for them, like I'd love to be able to go back to my roster and say, at the time, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and say, okay, now I can clearly see I should have dropped this guy. But at the time, they were the most logical people to drop.
And the pitch. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Nothing doing for Washington. They still trail it here. It's 6-2.
Well, there's already been talk about with Gill at least, with Cole getting ready to come back, and with him, he is recovering from Tommy John surgery. There's talk about possibly shutting him down or moving him to the bullpen to limit his innings so that has quote unquote more innings in his arm for come the playoff push in the playoffs. Which, if they do that, whether it's you that has him, whether it's me that has him, whether it'll be Brian that has him. If he gets moved to the bullpen, unless he's used in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, his fantasy value is going to fall through the floor. I mean, unless you were to keep him for just good ratios, where he comes in for an inning, maybe 2, strikes out 3 or 4 batters with a low whip. I mean, that's a possibility, but to me, if you have a relief pitcher that's not getting you that doesn't come in the right innings, what use are they to you? That's the biggest reason I wasn't saying to you that I'd be trying to trade Gil right now because I want him. I mean, of course, if you go, I've said this to you before. I've said this to Brian before. I'll trade any player, Adley including, for the right player, right price. I'll trade any player. But like, when you look at the fact that he's had Tommy John, there's already talk about him having his innings limited. Well, Brian, no, I say this with no offense intended. I wouldn't necessarily put Kyle Manzardo on the same list with Luis Gil, Paul Skeens, and Brandon Wu, only because what impact has Kyle Manzardo really had fantasy-wise? No offense. I know he's a guardian. I know he's a good prospect, and he's probably going to be a very good player. Would you understand? You get what I'm saying?
I'm sure he feels really good about that one. That's a good sound coming off the bat, man. And as he connected out front and dipped into the outfield.
But I mean, I've always done. It's kind of like what I was trying to explain to Gabe. With certain prospects, if you hear a rumor that they were going to get called up, you pick them up before they get called up, and you stash them. You don't. It's just like buying stock or selling stock. You don't. Exactly.
Our final line score this afternoon. First for the victorious Orioles, 6 runs on 16 hits. 1 error, they left 14 runners on base.
Put it this way. Okay. Put it this way. If I'll talk specifically about Paul Skeens for a second. I picked up Paul Skeens because there was talk that in about 5 days after I picked him up, there was a spot open in the Pirates rotation, and everybody, I was even looking on Twitter, even Pirates beat writers are saying this is Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is getting called up. They've already moved around the minor league rotation. I picked him up. When that didn't happen, and then there was more conversation that it could be another 3 or 4, 5 weeks before he gets called up. I thought to myself, I said, I can't. I had injuries. I can't afford to just hold on to this guy for possibly 5 weeks. Now, if I'd have known 2 weeks after I dropped him that he was going to make his major league debut, I would have never dropped him. But of course, if I knew that, I'd also know the winning lottery numbers, and then I wouldn't care what happened in fantasy. You know what I mean? Yes, I would. But you get my point. I won, by the way. Oh, I got the app on my phone. It's not hard to put. I mean, hey, Brian, I hope all your players fall down steps tonight, except the Oriole players you have. Booyaka, booyaka. Gonna do when I come for you. I don't know who the Boneyard is either. You'd have to ask Amish that one. I also don't know why anybody in their right mind would be a Pirates fan. Oh, that's true. Holy moly, Jaimer Candelario has 2 steals for me today and a home run. All right, I'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom. Yes. I gotta remember how I had my lineup. You still there? What? What are you talking about? That makes perfect sense. Seven games over 500. In first place by a game. Yeah. What's up, Gage? Frog and I are in PSN chat if you care to join. Hey, did you happen to see the poll that I posted on my YouTube channel?
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Interleague Baseball on MLB The Show. It's the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Baltimore Orioles. John Shambi, Chris Singleton with you. And Chris, we've got an opportunity to watch one of the true superstars of the sport. Trey Turner leads the team at OPS, so he's the guy that looks to slug and basically make things happen for them offensively.
Just a machine in terms of production at the plate. He'll take his walks, he'll barrel up the baseball, he'll hit the ball in the gaps, he'll hit the ball over the fence. So talk about a guy going good. That's him right now, and he's a bat that you want to stay away from if you're the pitcher.
First pitch coming your way next. Coming up on the first pitch and towing the slab, Grayson Rodriguez. What do we need to know here?
Well, coming into this game, hitters are batting under 250 against this starting pitcher.
Oh, so now Brandon Hyde has said he's uncertain when Bradish will pitch.
Second baseman.
Add and subtract, change up the
Hasn't
looks.
come out and said Bradish is hurt.
Too comfortable and start squaring up the
He's just
pitch. We'll
uncertain
see
when
what
he'll
he's got in
pitch.
this one.
This is not sounding good, Frog. And the Orioles are back home
The wind of the pitch.
at the best ballpark in baseball.
In the air to left center. Holiday should have this one. Hauls it in for the out. And time now for the Phillies lineup. In the sixth spot for them in this one.
Well, how many times have I said to you,
Well, he's an important part
Gabe,
of this lineup for sure. I mean, there's no
it's a matter of time before he ends up needing Tommy John surgery as hard as he throws.
A lot of things, very well up there at the plate. He's got a presence about him, and
Well, I know I said that about Grayson Rodriguez, but I still feel that way about Rodriguez too.
Really strong hitting performance recently. Can make it a 5-game hitting streak with a knock in this one.
There's a swing and a miss.
These guys are, I mean, they're throwing too hard, too much. Like, a breaking ball was never meant to be thrown, a changeup was never meant to be thrown 90 miles an hour. I'm sorry. And when you throw that, when you throw that hard, you have to take some speed off some pitches. You can't throw nothing but gas. Guess what? You drive 100 miles an hour in a car all the time, eventually you're going to wreck the car.
Tonight, Boog, and that's a pretty firm fastball right there. I tell you what, memories of getting jammed really creeping into my mind right now.
This looks like extra bases. Around first and hustling for second. And that's a two-bagger.
He was all over that one. Pretty much just a textbook double into the gap, and when you can drop one in there between the outfielders, you know you're making the turn at first. Just an excellent swing.
Bryce Harper, the next to hit, takes ball one.
Well, a really good chance right here to pick up a run.
Not if you know how to drive.
What seemed to be a real quiet start to the inning.
Righty delivers.
Have you and Frog been spending time together? Because Frog used to do this to me all the time. No matter what I'd say, he'd present a counterpoint. It's not about knowing how to drive. Never mind. If you exceed the limit of what the human body can do, or an engine can do, eventually, whether it's an engine or a human body, it's going to break down.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Next one misses, and it's 3-2.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Outside, and that is ball 4. It wasn't easy, but he earned that walk after a long at-bat.
His ability to draw walks has been something that's been part of his career since day one.
Whips it to first.
I also think part of the whole issue with the pitching injuries and injuries in general is I think players are working out too much. They're not resting their bodies enough between starts, between games.
chase that time.
Well, that pitch not even close. A 2-0 count now. He can't be over-aggressive. Got to make sure that pitch is right on a tee for him.
That one misses, and it's 3-0.
You're asking the wrong person. I don't play Diamond Dynasty.
Fouled off left side.
Guy wants to know if he should sell his Season 1 players before Season 2 starts.
And that's ball 4.
Maybe a little loss of focus on the mound right there. Pretty much gifted him first base with a quick free pass.
Here's Adley Rutschman. Oh, he doesn't get the call. Ball 1.
This might be a steal situation, but that's not your average catcher behind the dish.
Based on what a friend just told me that plays Diamond Dynasty, I would say no.
6-3, and they turn the double play.
Sometimes double plays get turned so quickly that you don't really get to appreciate all of the finer details and how these guys execute. Right there, really nice footwork, and a good feed to second was the key to pulling it off.
Swings and fouls one off. Fought off foul. And that's off the inside edge. Going to count 1 and 2. Swings through that one. It's a strikeout. Scoreless after. Back now at Oriole Park. Top of the second. Here's the third baseman, Alec Bohm. A wide kick the pitch. Fouled off. He was late. Rodriguez, 25 years old, a former first-round pick back in 2018. Got close with that one, and now it's even 1-1. This is just off the outside edge. I think that was a strike. The line of the pitch. Slap the other way, foul. Swing and a miss, and he chases that one in the dirt. In time, and a drop third strike leads to the first out.
He's locked in at the plate when he's using the whole field. He's out in front there. Just needs to let the ball travel a little more, and his timing will be back on track. Good pitch for the strikeout.
Nick Castellanos stands in now, looks at that one inside. That clips the corner. Matthew Ross umpiring behind home plate for us in this one. He's got a reputation for having a bit of a wide strike zone, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt, Boo. He rewards pitchers when they're working the edges and sometimes a little bit beyond that. So for the hitters, just have to really be aware. Don't miss your pitch when you get it early in the count.
I think I figured something out, Prob. I don't think it was the City Connect jerseys I really had a huge problem with. I think it was the City Connect jerseys with the black pants, because ever since the Orioles started wearing the City Connect jerseys with white pants, the Connect jerseys have grown on me a little bit. I'm still not a huge fan of them.
And that extends the inning.
Big knock there to keep the inning alive and an opportunity to put something in the gap
Okay.
and give the Phillies the lead.
Johan Rojas.
I mean, you still could come in the chat on the mobile app,
2 gone, but the go-ahead
but
run is at first. Here in game 1 of this 3-game set.
And a bat like this is almost over as it begins. In this situation, you have no idea what the next pitch is going to be. You just got to hope that you can make contact.
And a pop-up, right side, foul territory. Mountcastle makes the catch. And that is that. So 1 hit is all they get. We go to the bottom of inning. Back here in Baltimore,
Leading off,
bottom of the
for the
second.
Orioles,
And now here's the veteran
the designated
DH,
hitter,
Anthony Santander.
no, I actually don't like them. I'm just saying they
Still no score.
do look better with the white pants than they do with the black.
Righty to the plate. On the ground, right side, and foul ball. The 0-2. Foul ball left side. He'll see another. 2. That's in the dirt.
Not much, Mark. I sent you a
This is the zone. 2-2.
on PlayStation. I sent you a link to join my Discord.
And here it comes. The punch out there, and that's the first out. Here's Ryan Mountcastle.
He's been on fire at the dish lately, working on a 5-game hitting streak.
One ball, no strike. Misses. 1-0. Swings through that one.
So, Mark, I have a question for you as a Blue Jays fan. What kind of nightmares does Ryan Mountcastle give you?
And now 2 balls and a strike. And another ball.
Just doesn't seem to want to throw him a fastball.
Out towards right center field. Castellanos calls it in, 2 away.
Batting 6.
See, you ought to just trade for him, and then he'll play half his games in Toronto, and he'll break Barry Bonds' home run record in about 50 games.
No score here in the second. Well, it's even up.
50 home games, that is. So what do you think of the Bo Bichette to the Guardian rumors?
2 down, nobody on. Fouls it back with 2 strikes.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And good work. And welcome back to the ballpark. This is Bryson Stott. With the right hand
Great
back to
start.
work. Foul ball there. Strike 2. That one missed. One, 2 now. On a foul ball, he stays alive.
That's true.
1-2 now. The other way. A dive. Nice stop to his knee. The throw. And they get the out.
A quick move to
Wow.
his left.
Westberg.
Extended there in front of the shortstop to make the grab. Up with it. Then a strong, accurate throw across the diamond to complete this highlight play.
Brandon Marsh will hit next. Grounded out his first time.
$102 more watchtowers until
The pitcher with a pitch clock violation. That's an automatic ball.
3,000.
Must begin his motion before the pitch timer runs out. We're looking for a little more urgency out there.
That one
Welcome
finds
back,
the
Brian.
zone, and it's 1-1.
Mark, I can tell you one person very excited about the idea of Bo Bichette to the Guardians. That would be Brian. He's a Guardians fan.
And down on strikes he goes. 2 out.
Well, he throws him with the changeup right there, and I think he was so geared up for fastball. Once he recognized that it was off speed, he just wasn't able to make an adjustment. So a really good strikeout, and pitcher just won the battle.
2 outs. A little bit low.
He's been raking in recent games, and a big reason why, getting ahead in counts. He's been able to do that consistently, and you see the results.
Right-hander.
I'm just curious, Brian. Take Kyle Manzardo out of the equation for a second.
Now 3-1.
And admittedly, you already have Josh Naylor, but if the Blue Jays general manager came to you and said you could have your choice of Bo or Vlad, just keep in mind there's a DH spot.
2 down.
Who would you rather have, Bo or Vlad?
Foul deals. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. So a 2-out knock keeps the inning alive.
Wasting no time. He's 2 for 2 now on the night. And just a triple and home run away from the cycle.
Seriously, we're starting with this already. Turner, the runner at first with 2 gone. That one ripped. Holiday makes the grab.
Well, let's be real for a moment. If the Guardians trade for Bo, I would like to think they're a smart enough organization to feel like they at least have conversations with Bo prior to the trade and get a gauge on if he's going to resign. So Rukio may not even be in the Guardians' plans if they trade for Bo, because let's be honest, Rukio would probably be in the trade for Bo. So they ain't going to be learning from Bo, because he'll probably be one of the players going for Bo. Greetings, Gabe.
I think one of my favorite things about Nola is his consistency, Boo.
Not much.
Talk about his strikeout numbers and everything else, but the fact he's able to produce the way he does, start after start,
We said hey.
valuable piece for any team he plays for.
Can you hear us?
Just missed.
You can't hear either one of us.
Still tied at 0. Last of the 3rd. Next pitch misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Got him. And there's 2 away. And now
Private message you where? On Discord?
The middle and a base hit. So now back to the top of the order.
I mean, I sent.
Went up there looking to be aggressive.
Okay.
Not something he could handle. I could watch base hits
How do I
like that
find you on
all day
Discord?
long, and so many
I hope Pigtown's wrong. He just posted right after you posted that thing about Bradish, that Bradish is done. Was there an update or something? Three, six. Didn't find you, Mark, when I typed in 3675. What in the world is that? Why are you giving me a whole different number than what Mark just gave me? It's a song. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Brian.
Every hitting coach in the league. Just a nice line drive into center field.
That's the ball. At the plate now. That's ball one. One ball. No strike.
I don't know. I don't know.
Late on that fastball.
I'm trying to figure out how to get Mark in my Discord, and you're throwing up number. I'm so confused. Okay, you're talking about something completely different than.
Here's a 2-1. Wouldn't chase that time. The right-hander gives up the 2-out walk.
Second walk of the game for him, and he's been really patient at the plate. The game plan that he's sticking to, he's just not going outside of what he's looking for up there.
In the air, left side. He's got it, and that will end the inning. Orioles strand a couple, and we are still scoreless. Back now at Oriole Park, John Sciambi with Chris Singleton, and set to lead off.
Here, hold on. I don't really want to do this, but. Frog knows what I'm probably not about to do.
Kyle Schwarber. And a pitch. And there's a rocket into the outfield. And aboard on the leadoff single. And that knock bumps his hitting streak into double.
See if that works, Mark.
He's hitting 10 straight. Runner on the go. Out to short. Henderson in plenty of time. The first. That's the first out in the top of the fourth.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. The job was to move the runner up and give your team a chance to score the go-ahead run. That's exactly what happened, so you better believe your teammates are happy with you after that at-bat.
Schwarber leads on second with one gone in the inning. Right field, down the line, and that one...
I'll say this, it's slowly becoming more active.
No, that's a ball. The inside edge. And the count 2-1. Three balls, one strike. At the belt and fires. And that one fouled off. One out and a runner at second. And ball 4, 2 aboard.
He's making things difficult for himself right now out there on the mound, but, you know, his confidence should still be high enough to get out of this, but he's going to have to buckle down right here.
Real Muto.
Gabe, are you having internet issues?
Next pitch is outside.
Well, all eyes on the double play ball in this spot. No better way to get out of this inning.
That's a strike. One ball, two strikes. 2 on, 1 out. Ripped on a line. 2 down.
Well, you know, it is hard to play football and be on PlayStation here at the same time.
Now batting.
So digging in now for Philadelphia, Johan Rojas.
You literally didn't hear neither me nor Frog say hello to you?
That breaking ball is in for a strike, and quickly it is nothing in 2.
Frog, say something to Gabe, see if he hears you this time.
Lays out, but he can't squeeze it. Gets it there in time, though, and a tough play with a fast runner, but they get the out. Phillies leave a couple, and we're still not at
I hear you.
0. Back here in Baltimore,
Leading off.
bottom of the fourth. Now here is Gunnar Henderson.
So was there an update on Bradish or something? Because right after you posted that thing you posted about Bradish, Pigtown or Ninja, as he is in my Discord, said that Bradish is done.
For the year, it's 1-0. He sent the first pitch over the wall.
Must have bitter reservations because he wasn't wasting any time.
Now I'm really sorry I dropped Brandon Wu.
A good
or Luis Gill, or Paul Skeens. But Gunnar Henderson, solo shot.
You know, these Orioles showing great discipline at the plate, and patience definitely seems to be the name of their game in this one. He's only given up 1 run, but the starter's pitch count is starting to get up there, and that might be the best news yet for this offense.
Will that link to my Discord I put in the chat for Mark, will that expire Gate or Frog or door? Okay. Back to back. Tony Taters. And all of a sudden I have I have 10 people watching me. Thank you. Anybody that might be new here, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I'm in year 2 of my Orioles franchise. This is 2025, defending World Series champions.
You know, sometimes all it takes is getting to the next arm before an offense does any damage, and that might be the case today.
We are currently in first place by a half a game over Brian's beloved New York Yankees.
Well, he wasn't afraid to hit with 2 strikes. I think he choked up a little bit, maybe spread out, but he got the job done right there.
So, man aboard. Here's the left fielder.
Brian comes in here and tells everybody he's a Guardians fan. He's really a Yankees fan and a White Sox fan. He just doesn't like to admit it.
Swings and misses, and there's 1 down.
Good late cut for the strikeout there.
I'm sorry for your uncle.
You know, the cutter isn't really a huge swing and miss pitch most of the time because it's not really meant to move a whole lot. You're just trying to miss the big part.
This one swung on and hit well. Way back there. Into the bleachers and gone.
Third home run of the inning.
Third home run of the inning. It's 4-0. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 home run.
Yeah, you can say that's efficiency right there. Didn't need much time in the box to make an impact.
And all of a sudden it's 4-0 Orioles. And anybody that knows me and has watched my games in the past knows this game's over. My bullpen will just blow through the team. There's no chance of the Phillies coming back.
1 down. Here's the second baseman, Connor Norby.
I also have oceanfront property in Arizona.
And this is one of those where you learn a lot about a guy's toughness and his ability to turn the page and keep pressing forward.
And a foul ball. Still only 1 out here in the inning. Got him looking, and he did not like the call.
No, that's not the best 2-strike fastball I've seen, but certainly got away with the location there. You know, sometimes as a hitter, when you're down in the count, you're so focused on a pitcher painting the black, and you just get a little bit locked up on something down the heart of the plate, not expecting it, and it just kind of freezes you.
Stowers, the batter now as he swings and misses for strike 1.
So there you go, Brian. You may be able to answer this gentleman's question that was in my chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here. He wants to know if he should sell all of his season 1 cards to get ready for season 2. I told him he's asking the wrong person because I don't play Diamond Dynasty.
Ready now for the
Leading off
fifth
for
inning.
Philadelphia,
And here's the Phillies leadoff
second
man,
baseman,
Bryson Stott.
Bryson Stott.
Here comes a pitch. And a good eye there.
Well, these Phillies, simply put, are producing a lot of quality swings. We've already seen 8 line drives from them.
So, Gabe, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since, and I don't normally bring up football, but I have to ask. Did you see Patrick Queen's quote about how the people are better, the atmosphere is better in Pittsburgh, the food is better, because he's a regular food person, or I forget what the exact word he used. He's a regular food person, not a seafood person.
That one finds the zone. 0-1.
Yep.
And that one in the air center field. Holiday makes the catch. And there's 2 away. 2 outs, base is empty. Trey Turner at the plate. Fastball for a strike. Turner measures 6 feet 2 inches, 185 pounds, and he's a former Silver Slugger recipient in the National League. Swing and a pop-up in foul ground. Westberg drifts towards it. He's got it. And that is that. Down quickly go the Phillies. They're on the short end of a 4-0 score. We head to the bottom of the 5th. And stepping in is the speedy Jordan Westberg. And that's in the dirt. Meanwhile, activity in the bullpen. Spencer Turnbull, the hard-throwing righty, is up and loosening. Sanchez getting cranked up as well. That one's in there.
Oh,
And the count 1-1.
look at the bright side, Gabe. We get to see Cade Povich pitch.
This one in the air. Harper has a beat on it. And there's 1 away.
Good hard fastball up in the zone right there. They look really good coming in. But
Well, that's usually what forces a call-up for a pitcher.
Rutschman up for the 3rd time here. Watches that one miss. This one in the air. And there's 2 away.
That was a good pitch to hit right down the heart of the plate.
The batter,
pretty good timing on it. Just got underneath a little bit and popped it up.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Henderson at the plate with 2 away.
And also wouldn't surprise me in real life to see Mullins get sent down to the minors and Mateo end up your everyday, Mateo or Cowser end up your everyday center fielder.
2 outs. And that one is in the dirt. And the count 1-2. Way inside. 2 down, nobody on. Last half of inning number 5. That one way inside.
I'm assuming you said dome, not dumb, but it sounded like you said it's a dumb stadium.
And there's ball 4.
Boog, do you think you could draw a walk in the bigs if we gave...
Now on the bump, Spencer Turnbull.
And as relievers go, he's not a big strikeout guy. Tries to force weak contact, so command and execution are huge for him.
Santander at the plate for the 3rd time as he comes up empty there.
Well, indoor stadiums are dumb, so.
On a bounce right side.
Sports are meant to be played outside.
Inning over on the ground out. And welcome back to the ballpark. Here's Bryce Harper.
So you're like a retractable roof.
As he turns on the rubber with that good live arm delivery. That's in there, and that's strike 1.
I think it was a couple years ago. I think it was Serrano that they actually had to cancel a game.
You have to retire this hitter. If he gets on base, it could open up the floodgates for this offense to score some runs.
I think it was Toronto a couple years ago that did have a game get canceled because they didn't close the roof quick enough. and Major League Baseball was not happy. Mark, can you, if you're still in here, can you confirm, was that the Blue Jays or was that another dome team? I forget. It may have been the Marlins. There you go. Brian, Gabe would like to know, because you're always on Baseball Reference, how many ballparks have retractable roofs? And according to Brian, the stadium that I was referring to was not Toronto, it was Arizona. I can always rely on Brian when he's in here because he spends more time on Baseball Reference than I do on Now don't you start. Don't start. I didn't say one. I didn't say anything negative.
Go back to work. Focus on this next batter.
There you go. The answer in baseball 7. Mariners, Brewers, Jays, D-backs, Astros, and Marlins.
Pulls that one foul. The Phillies trailing by 3, and we're in the top half of the 6th. And another ball.
I want to know why. I want to know why more basketball games aren't played open roof.
Gets a piece there. We'll do it again.
Who are you saying that to? I know you're not saying that to me. Oh, okay, I knew you weren't saying that to me or Frog, because me and Frog know that's not true. We know you missed us. That's why you came in. Because you love. Because you love us. So, Frog, have you taken a look at the WrestleMania 40 arena yet?
That's down and in. The Orioles leading by 3 here in game 1 of this 3-game
okay.
And he walked him on 4 pitches.
Pitch count's getting up there now, and not saying that's the reason for this walk, but this is the point in the game when every sign of wavering starts to get everyone's attention.
Runner on at first with 1 gone. Stepping in, Nick Castellanos. Now time called. Pitching coach coming out for a meeting as 2 relievers continue to throw in the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, baseball or football is played outdoors, and they play in the winter.
Manager out of the dugout now, and it looks like we'll see a change on the mound. New pitcher on here, Jason Foley.
Number 69.
And this is an important part of this game. Tight score and still a lot of outs.
Here's one of my new additions, Gabe. A guy I hope the Orioles acquire in real life, Jason Foley.
Stands at first with 1 out.
He right now is the setup/closer for the Tigers. And he's on my fantasy team.
And that one a little below the knees. And that's ball 2. Next offering, popped in the air, right field. He's got it. 2 down.
I got to get back to you on that one because I'll let you do that for me, Brian. You can talk to him.
He swings and fouls 1 off. 2 outs. Hard on the ground to first. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. but not before they're able to draw closer with this blast.
Ooh, I gave up a home run to Bryce Harper. I made a comment that I wonder why they don't play any games outside for the NBA. He says because they start playing in October and end in April. I said, but the NFL plays outside in the winter and the fall. So
getting loose as well. There's a certain point where you have to commit to what you think you see, and he guessed wrong right there. Nasty slider.
I know the practical. Okay, don't take it so seriously. You're right. You know how slippery the court would be in the rain.
Comes a 2-2. That's towards center.
Not to mention, I just thought, could you imagine trying to dribble a basketball in the snow? The court covered in snow, trying to.
First offering is fouled off. Base is empty, one away here in the bottom of the sixth.
Oh, Brian.
Just missed.
Frog just said the funniest thing. Combine ice hockey and basketball. There you go.
Next offering misses. Now 2 balls and a strike.
So wait a minute. Are they hitting basketballs with sticks or are they throwing pucks into a hoop? So they basically be playing soccer.
Hard hit left side. Turner with the throw to first. That's the second out.
So wait a minute. No sticks. No feet. So how you get the...
Fought off foul.
So again.
Base is empty.
So wait a minute. Timeout. If you have no sticks and you can't kick the ball, how are you getting the ball into the hoop or the goal?
Swings through it, and that's a strikeout. 3 up, 3. Back now at Oriole Park, and now the center fielder, Johan Rojas. Foley back to work. That clips the corner.
It's been tough for the offense so far, but you can't get frustrated. You got to find a way to shake it off, go up there and relax. That's the only way you're going to be able to put runs up on the board.
The pitch. Battling here as he fouls it away. Kicks and deals. Soft contact.
So wait a minute. If
One down.
It's never fun going back to the dugout after hitting the line drive that finds a glove, but you will get some high fives. You know, when you make great contact, you feel like you've done everything right. But in this game of baseball, not everything is in your control.
They turn things over to the southpaw, Alex Messiah. He last pitched 2 days ago.
well, even I'm trying to figure out if the hoop is the same size as an NBA hoop and it's still in the air, what's the point of the goalie? So what you're saying is you basically would have like, it would be like when George Mirasan was in the league or Shaq, or they could just put their hands up and it's basically goaltending.
Hits against a firm front side, and the hands just continue to carry through the middle of the field.
Here's Trey Turner.
Ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Frog has way too much time on his hands. Everybody does that.
Anything but the inning double play, boo.
The shortstop takes the ball. They've been able to slow down.
Now tell your nephew what I said, that everybody beats you.
And another ball. With
What's that?
Game number 7.
Now that at least makes a little more sense.
Slice the other way and foul.
As a hitter, you don't know what to expect here in the 3-2. If he'll throw a breaking ball 3-1, he'll do it again 3-2.
Foul ball, and it remains a full count. Outside, and that is ball 4.
Well, interesting. He went with the off speed and walked the hitter. Man, you got to challenge the guy with the fastball.
Harper swings through it for strike 1.
Okay.
Hang in there with that front side against this left-handed breaking ball.
Rip, but it curls foul.
Do not blow this lead. Do not blow this lead.
Stop. The runner at third. Marsh over at second. Turner at first. One ball. In the dirt. 1-2 to count. Next offering is outside.
Brian, you're supposed to be on my side.
Bounce to the right. Henderson over the first in time. There for the out. Runner scores from third. Next is the designated hitter, Kyle Schwarber. And time is called for a mound visit now. Big moment in this game, so they'll talk it over. New pitcher on now, Danny Coulon.
All they need from him right here is one out, but that's
Yeah, I forgot to take the shift off. And they tie it up. So much for my revamped bullpen.
A big two-out hit, and the game is tied.
His confidence level is so high. Really nice job of coming through in a big spot. That ball was drilled 106.
I didn't aim it there.
Kind of feedback that tells you you're right where you want to be with your swing mechanics.
Next offering is in for a strike.
Brian, you know extras is you're stealing Gabe's gimmick.
And backdoor. That pitch is devastating.
Sinker gets the bottom of the zone, and that's a strike.
Brian is chanting extras in my chat.
That ball is
He's
foul.
stealing your thing.
Pressure is building. 2 down. Go ahead run in scoring position.
Ooh, and when I said you're stealing, he's stealing your gimmick, he said, meh.
Check swing. Look down to first. He went around. Tough call, but that ends the inning.
If this game locked up, I'm going to be upset.
Well, 3 score in the inning. 2 of them on this 2-run double.
I should have took Vesey out.
Here to start the bottom of the 7th. Andrew Bullock.
Well, he's had trouble at times keeping the ball in the park this season. Something to keep in mind here.
Norby now at the plate as he swings through strike 1. And that's down and away.
Maybe they want to feel connected to the city.
Tied at 4.
See a problem.
Strike 2.
All slider so far in this at-bat to get ahead in the count, and clearly shows there was a game plan in mind for how to attack him in the box.
Just misses without one.
2-2.
Trying to get him to chase on a slider down and away. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 1 away.
Well, they've had a great plan of attack for tonight. I mean, finding all the holes in his swing and his approach, just frustrating for him up there. You strike out a guy 3 times in a game, I think that guy's got to go back and really study some video with his hitting coach, figure out how they're beating him, make this adjustment really quick, because word will get around the league.
And there's 2 down. Back to the top of the lineup,
the
Jordan
third baseman.
Westburg, the next to hit for the Orioles. He's 0 for 1.
They got a Westberg. They need to find a Eastberg.
And the first pitch misses for ball one. No strike. All tied up near the bottom of the seventh.
Wouldn't that be funny, Brian, if the Orioles had a Westberg and an Eastberg?
It might be time to choke up a little bit, get that front foot down early, maybe even just spread out. He's really late right now.
Next offering upstairs. Hit hard on the ground is short. Jump throw across his body. Saved with first, and an infield single keeps the inning going.
Well, that's one of those where you just have to tip your cap because he couldn't have played that one any
Man, we can't have too many Bergs.
No chance with the speed running down the line.
And now it's going to be Adley.
Are you surprised that I've never approached you about trying to trade for Westberg?
Run at first. Ripped to right, base hit. And that moves the go-ahead run to scoring position with two gone.
The batter, number 2.
That ball was absolutely ripped. 111 off the bat. And I'm pretty sure it started to whistle after it left the bat.
I think I heard that too, Boog. And these are the moments we appreciate when we can look at StatCast and just see exactly what the data is. Always so much fun to see what numbers pop up.
And the pitch. One ball, one strike to the backstop.
By the way, Brian, why on earth did you drop Cal Raleigh?
Bit of strategy here. They issue the intentional walk, and that'll set up the first play at any base. Now 2 outs. Bases full. Next to him, Anthony Santander. He's already homered in this game. Good chase that time.
That made no sense whatsoever. I understand he's got a low batting average, but then again, so does half the league. He's still one of the best power-hitting catchers in the league.
Just to remind him, focus on the hitter. Don't worry about anything else.
2 outs. And that one fouled off. Swung on, belted. That one back there. 1 run's in.
Personally, I would rather have Cal Raleigh.
The run scores from first, extending their lead. It's 7-4. Such great concentration. Here's the new pitcher.
Or even better, because it's a catcher, and catchers don't play every day. I'd rather have both. That way, you know, on a day that the Mariners have off, you still have a good catcher you can go back to. Or, you know, because catchers don't catch every day.
And on second, 2 down. Swing and a miss, and that is that. But 3 runs come across in the inning, all on this 3-run double. It's welcome back, and a new arm on the mound to start the 8th.
Number 71.
Santander.
And he's done a great job keeping the ball in the park this year. The numbers stack up with some of the best in the game.
right side, hard hit. Steps on first for the out. And now it is JT Realmuto. 1 for 3. There's a strike. 95 of that one.
I think I'm going to try to make between 5 and 7 my as close to normal streaming time as I can.
To the outfield base hit. So they get a man aboard with a 1-out single.
As a start time, that is, anyway.
That one the other way. And a base hit. Lead runner makes the turn at second. Throw into third. And the throw's offline. Safe at third. So the Philly batting order turns over. Now it's the second baseman, Bryson Stott. Missed with a changeup, and that's ball one.
This is a great dynamic right here. Speedy runner at first, thinking about taking second. Catcher with the pop time that leaves Jaws on the floor. This might get interesting, dude.
Tying run at the plate, and fouled off. Misses, it's a strikeout. And now for the Phillies, Brandon Marsh.
I don't have another left-hander.
Got to keep things airtight defensively right here. On your toes, ready to make a play. If you can get this to the ninth with a 3-run lead, it should be a W.
2 on, 2 outs. Let's go for a strike. That's the third. Down the line, and it's foul. Now a screamer into the outfield.
That was not where I put that ball.
And it hits the fence. Rojas rounds third, headed for the plate. And he's out. Touchdown, and that ends the inning. So it's 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. Back here in Baltimore, now the left fielder, Colton Cowser. As the lefty gets to work, hit in the air, right field. Castellanos gets under it. Hauls it in for the out. 1 up, 1 down. Jackson Holiday, the next to hit. He's already homered here in this one.
Holiday.
And that one is lifted in the air. No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And there's 2 down. So digging in, Connor
number 1.
3 strikeouts already. He's 0 for 3.
Connor Norby.
Just missed.
1-0.
2 down, nobody on. Here the bottom half of the 8th inning. Short hop liner, handled it short. Gathers.
Nice
Throws
play.
to first. Inning over. Orioles help.
Come on, Felix.
And welcome back to the ballpark. Now it's the shortstop, Trey Turner. And that's in for a strike. Bautista, a former All-Star. He features a 4-seam fastball, a splitter. Now this down the right field line. Fair ball, should be extra bases. He's in with a double, and that's his second double of the night.
Having himself a really nice game at the plate. Nice job of driving that pitch the other way on a line. You know, hitters, they take so many reps in the cages, working on going to the opposite field, and it doesn't always translate into the game. But right there it did, and he did it perfectly.
Phillies fans want a strikeout. And that is there. Harper frustrated.
Did it really say Phillies fans want a strikeout?
And he lets the plate umpire know it.
A big strikeout right there, and maybe a little controversial with the call. I think he got a little bit of favor on the mound. No question about it. It's not exactly what you want to see in a big spot like that, and I'm sure there's some chirping going on from the dugout, making it clear that wasn't his best call behind the plate today.
Schwarber in the box now as he leaves that one up high. 2 balls, no strikes to count.
As a pitcher, you know the runner on second is ready to push things with his speed. A base hit's probably going to be a big run, so you really have to execute on the mound.
The Orioles trying to close out a 2-run lead here at the top of the ninth. And the tying run is on base.
They're not ready to go home quite yet.
And digging in for
That's
Philadelphia.
okay. I think I'd rather face Baum than.
And ball 1.
Well, he's already in some trouble, and falling behind in the count makes it even worse. Then you've got to throw the ball over more of the plate, and that's where they can really do damage against a guy like this.
This is again 5 in a row. With the go-ahead run at the plate here in Game 1 of this 3-game set. Fought off foul. So the tying run at second. The 3-2 is off the outside edge, and that is ball 4.
Pretty much the last thing you want from your bullpen arms are free passes, especially in spots like this. Make the team earn their way off.
Castellanos, the next to hit, takes outside. And that one fouled off. A 1-1. That one is triple digits.
So many hard-throwing relievers in the game these days. You would think that hitters have made the adjustment, but I don't know if you ever get used to it. Just pumping gas out of the bullpen. So hard to play catch-up.
That one back up the middle, and it gets through. One runs in. And they hold the runner at third. Bases remain loaded here. Still only one gone. And up to the plate is JT Realmuto. The other way, and he beats the shift. One runs in, fires to the plate. He's in there. It's now 8-7.
Back-to-back singles, really good swing right there. He got a pitch that he knew he could handle, allowed himself to stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the screws.
Next offering is in for a strike. Crowd locked in right now. One-run game here in the ninth. Throws to Henderson. Over to first. That's two. Nicely done. 1-6-3, and that will... Coming into the game now on
Wow.
defense, Matt Chapman. He's the new third baseman. Now it's the right fielder, Kyle Stowers. And the pitch. Late with the swing there.
Well, Boo, this is a real tough place for visiting teams to come in and close out ball games for a win.
Late that time, and it's strike two.
When you throw a fastball by a guy like that, I imagine it's got to feel incredible. Look for him to throw it again at some point.
Looking to get the tying run on base. Swings and misses, struck him out.
Well, I'd definitely say that's a statement strikeout right there. You come out of your bullpen, go right after the hitters, and 3 pitches later, you got one out. Tell you what, if you're in the dugout, you're looking at each other and saying, he's going to be tough to get to today.
Westberg stands in here, leaves that one off the inside. And fouled off. A 1-run lead here in the last half of inning number 9. And a swing and a miss there.
1-2.
Kicks and fires. Fights that one away, still 1-2.
Well, he's desperately looking for that swing and miss. He's going to have to just change speeds a little bit, try to move it around, create just a little bit of illusion at the end.
Some heat there at 98 miles an hour.
This is definitely what a team likes to see out of the players. Will come in and just destroy all hope. First 2 batters, 2 strikeouts.
Cannot believe I blew this game.
Swings through it for strike 1. And this one could be extra bases. And the double puts the tying run in scoring position with 2 away.
A couple of hits in a row for him here. Put a pretty good jolt into that one. Great swing, nice balance, and great transfer. And he got it to drop in out there in the deep part of the field. A chance now to even the score and maybe extend this game.
Henderson at the plate and takes high there. Next offer in there for a strike. And it's a ball and a strike.
Well, comfortable or not, these are the situations closers they seem to live for. When you get into some hot water, a jam, tough spot, whatever you want to call it. But this is where they earn their keep.
was just one strike away. Now this is a rocket to left. And he's got it. Ball game. And the Phillies hold on to win a tight one as this one ends as a
I blew that game.
game.
Big time.
And a final 8-7. For Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew here at MLB The Show, I'm John
First for the victorious Philadelphia Phillies. 8 runs on 14 hits. No errors. They left 12 runners on base. For the Orioles, 7 runs on 9 hits. No errors. They left 5 runners on base. Time of the ball game, 4 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We remind you to please drive home safely.
The bullpen allowed 7 of those 8 runs. Inexcusable and unacceptable. With that, I am. Play one more. Part of the problem is I need to take my time more between pitches, especially if I'm going to preset the shifts. I'm going to do one more game.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome.
Because a lot of those hits I gave up with the bullpen were not, in my opinion, they were all squarely on me for not taking the
leads the team in OPS, so he's the guy that looks to slug and basically make things happen for them offensively.
Just a machine in terms of production at the plate. He'll take his walks, he'll barrel up the baseball, he'll hit the ball in the gaps, he'll hit the ball over the fence. So talk about a guy going good. That's him right now, and he's a bat that you want to stay away from if you're the pitcher. Well, what quickly stands out to me for this guy is that he comes in with a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio on the season. So when you consider consistency, the ability to get swings and misses, and to limit base runners, that's critical in winning games today, especially when teams are depending on.
I need to take my time between.
And he deals. Bryson Stott leading things off. It takes a strike.
0-1's the count.
First pitch, 7:07.
Popped up to the left, into foul ground, near the fence. Reaches over the wall, and he's got it. And time now for the Phillies lineup. At the very bottom, hitting ninth, Johan Rojas.
Well, these days we know teams, they put a game plan together for every hitter in a lineup. But a guy like this, they circle him, make sure he doesn't beat you. So they put in a little extra time and effort on how they're going to approach him. He can be a huge difference maker when he's hot. So it's going to be fun to see how they try to work him right here.
In the air to left, down the line. And that is a foul ball. That one lifted to left. a couple of quick outs. 2 outs, base is empty. Trey Turner stands in for the Phillies. And there's a ball. And it's fouled away. 2 outs, base is empty.
Oh,
Ground ball to the middle.
that was
That's
more
a
center
base
cut
hit.
than I wanted it.
Big knock there to keep the inning alive and an opportunity to put something in the gap and give the Phillies the lead.
And now here is Harper. Homered in the ball game yesterday afternoon. First pitch misses.
He might want to steal second in this spot, but he's dealing with a catcher that has one of the best pop times in the game. He needs to pick his spot very wisely.
Next pitch is downstairs. Suarez picks to first, and Turner's back in. 2 gone, but the go-ahead run is at first. Here in the second game of the series. That's outside. Ball 3. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 2 outs. Runner takes off. Foul ball there. 3-2 now. Spoils the 2-strike pitch, and he'll see another. Hammer, base hit. Throw in holds the lead runner at second. 2 on now with 2 away. Kyle Schwarber comes up to hit here.
I'm liking what I've
Perfect
seen
example.
from him at the dish lately. Owns a 10-game hitting streak right now, and this is where it starts to get fun.
One fouled off. 2 on, 2 outs. There's the strike of the knees. Not even close there, and the count is 1-2. There's a swing and a miss. That's the 3rd out. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left stranded. And now the O's will get their first crack at it. No score. And into the box for Baltimore, Jordan Westburg. The line of the pitch. And a foul ball. Swing and a ball hit out towards left center field. Rojas makes the grab, 1 away. All right, let's take a look at the Orioles lineup now. One guy leading the way offensively for this club right now, Connor Norby.
And boom, he's the table setter for this offense. Team leader and on-base percentage. I mean, that just gives your teammates plenty of chances to cash in and bring them around to score, man. I used to love when I had a guy out in second base or third base. Easy to get those RBIs. Game after game, you know a guy like this, what he's going to provide, and the opportunities that other guys are going to get in the lineup.
Swings through that one for strike 2.
They can live up in the zone all game, and hitters will chase it. That's just too much velocity. Hitters got to look down in the zone.
1 down, base is empty.
Ball, that's out.
Well, this is a guy that can be frustrating for pitchers because he fouls off so many pitches and grinds out the at-bat. I'm sure there's some times where a pitcher would rather just give up a first pitch single than have to waste 6 or 7 pitches on one hitter.
And another ball.
That is my goal. Try to take more time between pitches. make sure my defense is set for the appropriate situation. Actually look at the pitches I've thrown. Just sort of slow it down.
Swings through that one. It's a strikeout.
He came out of his mechanics there. Typically he likes to shoot the ball the other way, but that time a little anxious.
And the batter now, Gunnar Henderson. And they put the tag on him. That's the third out, inning over. Nothing for the Orioles in the first.
I mean, I know baseball. I've played baseball all my life.
Back now at Orioles Park. And now it's Alec Bohm.
Alec Bohm.
The wind of the pitch.
Oh, that's too high.
Ball one. And that's ball one. Suarez. In his rookie season, he features a four-seam fastball, a curve, a changeup, and occasionally uses a cutter. And it stays fair. Here's Nicholas Castellanos. Now the infield shifts to double play dead. That one catches the corner for a strike.
0-1. 0-1.
Offering upstairs. Darryl Parker assigned to umpiring duty behind home plate.
And Boog with DP, it's sort of a coin flip on those borderline corner pitches. Doesn't really favor one side of the plate more than the other. Sometimes you get a little extra to the plate, and sometimes
One way.
it does seem like he evens it.
Runner on the go. Out towards right center field. Santander drifts towards it. Makes the catch, and there's one gone. Singy, what kind of strike zone is most frustrating for hitters?
Batting it.
I'd say off the plate, away, and down. And why? Those are the toughest locations to hit the baseball.
In the box with one away as he takes ball one. Next offering.
Let me ask anybody that's in this chat. Does it take you out of the experience of watching the game if I take a few seconds to set up my defense?
Great stop. Throws from his knees. On the money. Nice play.
Look at how he dives right there. Is able to pop up to both knees. Not enough time to get to his feet, but he threw a cannon across the diamond to get the runner.
Digging in, Johan Rojas.
Johan Rojas. Well, no, I get that, Brian, but I mean, if somebody was to say it really bothered them, you don't keep subscribers, you don't keep viewers by going against what they say they want. So, I mean, at the same time, if you're in a baseball stream and you're watching a baseball game, why would you be bothered by the strategy of baseball?
And 2 outs.
Well, this came apart right there. 4-pitch walk, and the guy at the plate was not going to help him out by swinging at something out of the zone.
Fouled off. He was late. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
A lot of adrenaline, we can see it right there, and sometimes you just got to...
And we're back. Bottom half of inning number 2. Anthony Santander at the plate. And that one pulled foul.
By the way, Brian, Jordan Hicks did not do very well for you today.
Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and that one missed by a ton.
Good late sink on that fastball. Out of the hand looks so good, and then by the time it gets in the hitting zone, hard to get the barrel to it.
And the Pirates looking to take 2 in a row from the Dodgers.
Typically that high fastball, if it's close to the top of the strike zone, a hitter, if he's prepared for it, can get to it. But that one just had that little jump at the end, which indicates there's a good spin rate on it, and it didn't decrease in velocity as that hitter's internal clock would expect it to, and that's why you see the swing and miss.
And that's a base hit into left field. So a man aboard now with 1 away.
Seems like he got exactly what he was looking for right there. Nice line drive to the side, met it out front, but just stayed through it nice enough and ripped it into the...
Are you looking at Jordan Hicks' numbers? Did I just alert you to something you weren't aware of?
0 for 4 in the loss yesterday.
I mean, he got you 7 strikeouts.
Rolled softly, but that goes foul.
No, but I mean, he probably gave up,
Nothing here in the bottom of the second.
a 4 ERA in 3 innings. He probably gave up a lot of those 7 runs. I don't know that he got hurt. There's no little blue box next to his name, so there's no indication of an injury.
Left-hand hitter waits. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Nice job behind the plate there. And next is the designated hitter, Colby Mayo.
He's done a great job making contact recently, working on a 5-game hitting streak.
That one fouled off. Mountcastle off the first with 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a great start by any means, but he still got you. I mean, those are going to happen, you know.
Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again.
And honestly, as you get deeper in the year, they're probably going to happen more often than not because this is the first year of him being a starter. So, you know, when he gets over that innings limit, you know, whatever, he's eventually going to creep into an area as far as innings pitched that he's not used to.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Couldn't catch up to the heater.
We're all weird sometimes.
Here we go, top of the third. Scoreless game. Brandon Marsh steps to the plate. Suarez back to work. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did.
0-1's the count.
Okay.
One ball,
Chase
one
that
strike.
time. And the righty deals. Inside,
ball
just
2.
missed.
That's because you're weird all the time. You never step out of weird.
Outside. 3 balls and a strike. And a foul ball left side.
You live in a constant state of weird.
And 1 away in the top of the third.
Well, he hadn't seen that changeup the entire at bat until that put-away
next
pitch.
for Philadelphia.
It's pretty tough to deal with as a hitter. You're up there battling, trying to read and react with 2 strikes, and then all of a sudden a pitch comes out of nowhere, and it's a good changeup. It's just almost impossible to hit it when you haven't seen it.
I didn't say it. Did I say it was a bad weird?
On the ground. Whips it to Mountcastle.
If you took it that way, I apologize.
We talk about how the ball is coming out of the pitcher's hand. The way it comes out of his hand as an infielder. Wow, really impressive.
Harper
You shouldn't have taken it a bad way, considering before I said anything about you living in a constant state of weird, I said we're all weird.
That catches the top part of the zone, and it's 0-2.
Love how vocal the umpire is today. No doubt in the hitter's mind, catcher's mind, and even the pitcher's mind as to the conviction in the call.
Okay.
And that skips into the top of the third, no score. That misses the zone. Full count now. Bounced up the middle. Tosses to first, and the Phillies are set down in order. The Phillies go down quietly in the inning. Still. And welcome back to the ballpark. Bottom of the inning. Here's the second baseman, Connor Norby. Stop. Pulls that one down. And a quick out, number one. Jorge Mateo now. Let's see what the former World Series MVP can do with this at bat, Chris.
You know how weird that is to hear World Series MVP?
That one misses, and the count is 1-1. One out, base is empty. Upstairs.
Brian, if I was you, if I looked at the fantasy thing right now, I'd be furious at the baseball gods. Did you see what Jeimer Candelario did for me today? He got me Jeimer Candelario got me a home run and 2 steals.
Downstairs, and it misses, ball 4.
Well, a great back and forth in that at bat. He had to play off some really close pitches, and somehow Boogie found a way to keep the bat on his shoulder right there. I'll tell you right now, I couldn't have done it.
Tag, and he's out at first. Couldn't get back to the bag.
How Jeimer Candelario got me 2 steals is
Foul to the left side. 2 down, nobody on. On the ground to the left. Rolls across the diamond. Play made, that ends the inning. Fourth, still scoreless. Back here in Baltimore, all set for the start of the inning. And now Kyle Schwarber. Now the right-hander ready to go. Still no score. That's off the mark.
Ball 1, no strike.
Hard hit to third. Schwarber out of the play.
Up next for Philadelphia.
So up next, Alec
third
Bohm.
baseman.
1 for 1 with a single so far. Nice ball for a strike.
He's pitching well, but not throwing a ton of first pitch strikes. Usually doesn't work out for success, but you can never predict baseball.
Drops for a hit. He couldn't run it down.
you rarely look at your players.
Wasting no time. He's 2 for 2 now on the night.
I'm always looking at fantasy.
Seriously, they're starting with this already. Castellanos batting for the second time, and that's strike 1. This one in the dirt. And it's a ball and a strike as the runner holds. Runner at second here, 1 gone. Line drive.
That at bat is a positive sign, even though it probably doesn't feel like it. He hit the ball hard, but it doesn't always work out in your favor. Sometimes a defender is...
JT Realmuto.
JT Realmuto steps in. Grounded out his first time.
True.
This is outside. Ball 1. Ripped to short. Henderson over to first in time. And the inning is over. Phillies strand 1, and we are still scoreless. Back now at Orioles.
Leading off,
Ready to go.
Orioles.
Bottom 4. Here's
the
Adley
catcher,
Rutschman.
Adley.
And there's a foul ball.
You know, these Orioles, as you probably noticed, haven't been shy at the plate at all. In fact, they've probably been too aggressive at times. And specifically talking about the first pitch, these batters are swinging more than 80% of the time, which is fine if you're scoring runs, but that hasn't been the case today.
And right back to the mound. Throws to first. Rutschman retired.
That's what a good sinker's designed to do. Get a guy to roll over a little bit, hit the ball on the ground, kill some runs while you're at it.
Henderson, the batter now as he swings and misses for strike one.
Now, this guy is just filling up the strike zone right now. Don't want to get yourself in an 0-2 hole. You better be ready to pull the trigger on the first pitch.
Why to kick the pitch. Swings through that one out front that time.
One ball.
Bases empty, one away. We're here in the bottom of the fourth. Sets him down on strikes.
Astros won 14 straight games. They're coming after the Guardians record.
Anthony Santander, the next to hit for the Orioles. In the air out towards right center. Castellanos sizes this one up. Makes the grab.
What do they only need 7 or 8 more?
Through 4, still tied. New inning getting started. Digging in, it's the speedy outfielder, Johan Rojas. And a pitch. Fastball in for a strike.
Oh, one's the count.
Rojas goes 6'1", 24 years old, and he was born in the Dominican Republic. And that's a base hit. And that turns the lineup over.
So they would need 8 more to tie.
This is Bryson Stott.
Struck out on just 3 pitches last time.
Stop.
So our noses, but
Ball, that's kicked out.
In the air, right side. Santander in pursuit. Brings it in.
I believe it said the Astros were at 14.
So digging in, Brandon Marsh.
If you were an average catcher behind the plate, I'd say take second base, but this isn't a catcher you want to run on. His quick release is
I
unreal.
got one ball,
Now
one
snap
strike.
go to first.
No,
But
he's
he
safe.
scrambles back. Ball to strike.
2 balls.
In
one
the
strike.
dirt, but kept close. And an excellent job keeping it right there. Runner takes off. Yeah, foul ball. Westbrook to
He's
second,
out.
and that's
Out.
2. He continues to roll on the mound as 5 shutout innings are in the books. And we still have no score. And we're back. Here's Ryan Mountcastle.
Come on, Matty.
The pitch. Got it started a little too early. Strike 1.
0-1.
You know, these Orioles definitely being aggressive at the plate, but I think it's fair to wonder if they're being a little over-aggressive. They're swinging at more than 70% of the first pitches they've seen today, and it's just not working out for them.
That one misses. And that is ball 1.
So those first pitch numbers tell me they should try to find a way to slow this game down a bit. Things have been moving just too quickly for him at times.
He swung over top of the curveball. Colton
Now
Cowser,
batter,
the
left
next to
field.
hit for the Orioles.
3-pitch strikeout last time up. Got to put up more of a fight in this one. he's looking great so far.
0-1's the count.
Over 80% of your first pitches are strikes. He might be able to go the distance if he keeps this up.
Good Lord.
No ball, 2
Pretty
strikes.
impressive. We haven't seen that pitch from him much, but he's got a really good feel when he throws it.
Got him swinging on the curveball.
I can't read the ball. I can't.
Now
And
back,
here
the
is
designated
Colby
hitter,
Mayo.
Colby
His first at bat was a
Mayo.
strikeout. Swing and a miss.
I don't know what it is. I can't.
0-1.
All tied up. Last half of inning number 5. On the ground to third. Boom. Goes on to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Back here in Baltimore. Started the 6th. John Shambi with Chris Singleton. And leading off, Trey Turner. Suarez back to work. Fouled off left side. Strike 2.
They'll try to bunt for a hit right there, and you can tell he's trying to get something, anything going offensively.
The 0-2. Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. And the right-hander deals. And a foul ball, he stays alive.
While he's having a tough time getting a pitch by him as a hitter, you feel pretty confident that you're seeing different pitches still able to make some type of contact.
Ooh.
Foul ball left side, he'll see another. Right-hander kicks, deals. And
1 ball,
that's in the dirt.
2
It's
strikes.
a ball and 2 strikes. The shortstop takes the ball.
Well, he might have to look for a different put-away pitch right here, 2-2. He's already seen the curveball a couple of times in this at-bat, so might have it timed up and ready for it.
The 2-2. Chases that one out of the zone. He battled for a long time and he finishes with a strikeout. You can't be mad at yourself after an at-bat like that one.
Twice.
Here's Harper now. 1 for 2.
Now
Danny
pitching for
Coulomb
the Orioles.
gets the call from the pen.
Number
And they felt it
54.
was time to bring on a left-handed reliever from the pen with the lefty hitter coming up. I think it's a good move. I know I never liked when opposing teams did that to me.
This
Ball,
pitch
that pitch
doesn't
is out.
find the zone. Base is empty, 1 away, and we're the top half of the 6th. Swings and pulls it foul to the right
Ooh.
side.
Clearly hoping he could get a swing and miss on that, but doesn't pull the hitter with that breaking ball. Nice job, just couldn't keep it fair.
The 1-1 is fouled off. At the belt and fires. That one off the mark. 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ripped to short, snagged on a bounce. Whips it to Mountcastle. Harper retired. And here is Kyle Schwarber. That
1-0.
one missed.
You can
Oh,
expect
come on.
this
He
guy to
went.
be looking for something on a tee. You can get up in the air and untie this ball game.
Well, with the shift on, hits right into it.
Got it.
Fires over to first. And the Phillies are set down in order.
Remind me to change Norby's number.
8-9-1 scheduled. Bottom of the 6th. And into the box for Baltimore, Connor Norby. The wind of the pitch.
Oh,
Wouldn't
that's
chase
off the
that
plate.
time.
Green.
And another ball. The pitch. Foul ball, another 2-2 upcoming. Ground ball up the middle. Stop. Tosses to
He's
first.
out.
1 away, bottom of the 6th. Jorge
Now
Mateo,
batting,
the next to
the
hit for the
7th
Orioles. Walked his first time.
Mateo.
That's in there. That's strike one.
To be fair, I've helped Ranger Suarez way too much swing and
Struck
stuff like
him
that.
out swinging. Real Mutil up
Got
with
it.
it. Fires to first. And it beats
Up
him
next
for
for the
out
Orioles,
number 2. That's a
third
strikeout.
baseman.
Really love the pitch sequence right there. I'm telling you what, pitcher and catcher are on the same page right now.
Westberg
That's a ball.
stands in with 2 away as he takes a ball. 2 down, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 6th. And a seed into center. That's a base hit. Two outs,
The
runner
catcher,
first.
number 35.
Adley Rutschman, the next to hit for the Orioles.
Come on, Rush.
Foul back our way, and that's out of play. With the go-ahead run at first, here in the second game of the series. Up the middle, Turner. They get the force, and that is that. Welcome back. We're in the 7th. We have a new pitcher on the mound, Jacob Webb.
And he's been
Number
really shutting
71.
down hitters from the right side of the plate this year. Not a lot of hard contact, not a lot of hits, period.
Alec Bohm stands in for the Phillies. Just
Inside
off
ball.
the inside edge. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. Way back there. That one is gone.
That's exactly the pitch he was looking
That
for.
did not go where I had the pitch aimed.
Nick Castellanos at the plate now. And the first pitch misses for ball 1.
Nope, that's
Just
off the
off
plate.
the
Ball
inside
2.
edge. Right-handed reliever. Swing and a miss. And the
2-1.
count 2-1. Nobody on, nobody out with a run in here in the top half of inning number 7. Up
That's
and
ball
in,
3.
3-1 now.
3 balls, 1 strike.
And he walked it.
Ball 4.
Pretty easy walk right there. Last pitch wasn't even much to think about.
Now the infield shifts to double play dead. And that one fouled off. Foul ball there. Castellanos on at first. Nobody out.
That's
Next
a ball.
offering misses down and away.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Got him swinging. Johan Rojas stands in for the Phillies. And
Counts
the first
1-0.
pitch misses for ball 1. 1-run game, 1 out, 1 on. There's a strike.
That's a great take right there. Even though it's a strike, with the situation, runner on first base, you want to keep the ball off the
2 balls,
ground. And
1
you
strike.
swing at that pitch, most likely you roll into a double play.
In there for a strike. And that's strike 2.
It might be time to choke up a little bit, get that front foot down early, maybe even just spread out. He's really late right now.
Here comes the pitch.
3.
Goes down looking.
Now batting, the second
So the
baseman.
batting order turns
Bryson
over. And here's the Phillies leadoff man, Bryson Stott. That one's in there, 0-1.
Well, we call that keyhole. Even though it's right there and looks pretty good, if he doesn't love it, he's not going to swing that early in the count.
Swing and a high fly ball down the left field line, but hooking foul. And ball 1.
Oh, me how many pitches did he throw before he gets ejected? Does he have a pattern of being ejected?
That's out number 3. The Phillies get one by way of the long ball. It's now 1-0. And welcome back to the ballpark. And now the shortstop, Gunnar Henderson. And that one fouled off. Looking to get the tying run on base.
Ball inside.
Off the inside edge. And 1-1. Double-barreled action in the bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez appears to be getting loose.
1 ball,
Strong
2 strikes.
also getting ready. And
Ball
now
next
2-2.
But Acuna is not playing.
Good eye right there.
Foul this 3-ball count down in the ball game. You've got to be very selective. Take your walk if they'll give it to you.
And a payoff pitch. Got him looking.
I thought that was higher.
Big time out leading off the home seven.
Now batting, left fielder,
I need to swing at that to protect.
Misses off the plate, and it's 1-0. Holding on to a 1-run lead here at the bottom of the 7th. On the ground, right side, and he takes it himself for the out.
Well, there's a lot riding on that at bat right there. Nice job of the pitcher
The
to
first
bear
baseman,
down,
number
make the pitch,
6.
get the ground ball. Excellent piece of work.
Ryan Mountcastle, the next to hit for the Orioles. Gets him to chase after that one.
Usually when a
0-1's the
pitcher's
count.
had a dominant outing, he has filled up the strike zone, and he's got ahead in the count with first pitch strikes. Well, that's exactly what this guy has done in this one. Over 70% first pitch strikes.
Two outs. Swing and a miss, and that is that. 1, 2, 3. Go the. Back now at Oriole Park. We go to the 8th. Here's the left fielder, Brandon Marsh. So a new arm out of the bullpen for the Orioles, Cole
number
Irvin.
19.
Just trying to keep this one close here, and this is where a bullpen can give their players a chance to fight back into the game.
And that one missing low. Irvin measures 6 feet 4 inches. He features a 4-seam fastball, a sinker, a curve, a changeup, and occasionally uses a cutter. Ball to strike, the pitch.
Two balls,
Outside.
2 strikes.
And now the lefty spoils that one, and it remains 2-2. Good eye in that spot.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Outside, and that is ball 4. That's a great at bat. He saw a lot of pitches and earned a walk. Here's Turner now.
Well, that could be a tone setter for the inning. 4 straight pitches and leadoff batters on base. We'll see if the next guy waits until there's a called strike before he takes the bat off the shoulder. Really good swing right there. He got a pitch that he knew he could handle, allowed himself to stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the screws.
The outfield shifted pretty heavily towards right field. Harper stands in now and watches strike 1. And that one hit to first. 1 at second.
That's an out.
On down to first, double play.
Now back.
And now the DH, Kyle Schwarber. And a little something extra at stake in this at-bat as he's hitless so far with his hitting streak in jeopardy. Down to call here, rolls foul. 2 outs and a runner at third. And we're at the top of the 8th. And it's strike 2.
They need to hang in there with that front side against this left-handed breaking ball.
Foul ball, it stays 0-2. And a swing and a miss. And that's that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Half of the 8th coming up. It's the Phillies 1. And we're back. Now the left fielder, Colton Cowser. The pitch. That one pulled foul.
Come on.
And the pitch. Right side. Stop. Tosses to first. And that's one away as the leadoff man is out in the 8th. And the batter now, Colby Mayo. Turned on, but foul wide of third. Trying to hold a 1-run lead near the bottom half of the 8th inning. Connect on the curveball, struck him out.
Well, I don't think there's a hitter alive that hasn't at some point succumbed to that pitch right there. It just looks like it's in the zone the entire way, and then the top spin and gravity take over in the blink of an eye, and it's just such a tough pitch to lay off of.
Nice grab on the run. And that's 3 up, 3 down for the Orioles. Still behind by a count of 1-0. And welcome back to the ballpark.
Now pitching for the
Cano on the pitch out of the pen here.
He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts compared to other relievers, so he relies on getting that soft contact and the defense doing the work behind him. They'll have to be on their toes with him on the ball.
Up the middle, and it finds its way through for a hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning. Nick Castellanos stands in for the Phillies. Outside low, and that's ball 1. And that one is inside. The pitch. There's a strike. That's downstairs and outside.
This is a really good feeling for a hitter at this point in the ball game. You know that they don't want to walk you, so you're going to get a pitch to hit. Just better not miss it.
Kicks and deals. Good plate appearance there. Able to take the walk.
Not the start to this inning he was hoping for on the mound. Now he's going to have to really dial it up against the bottom part of this lineup to get out of this jam.
Batter.
In the box now. No balls and a strike. That catches the throw.
Well, he's gotten ahead with 2 pitches down in the zone. He has plenty of options right here. He can go up, he can go away, he can...
Oh, now this ball gets down. Here comes Bohm around third. He scores, and they take a 2-run lead in the 9th.
Picks himself up in RBI. Showed a willingness to drive that pitch the opposite way. Didn't get jumpy, didn't try to pull the ball. He let it get deep, took the barrel right to it, and then extended through the swing for the line drive base hit.
And time is called for a mound visit now. big moment in this game, so they'll talk it over. Next offering is in for a strike.
Don't be surprised to ball on the ground to the corners if they come home with the baseball instead of going to first base. I think ultimately you want to tie him up, get the ball in on the plate.
On the ground to third. Play at the plate. Back to the top of the lineup. Bryson Stott will hit next. First pitch misses. The Phillies trying to break this one open here at the top of the ninth. Here's the pitch. It's a double steal. And a foul ball. 2 on, 1 out. Foul ball still, 1-2 count. Gets a piece there. We'll do it again.
Also really good at that. What I like about this guy, his bat stays in the zone for a long time. Gives him the ability to foul off tough pitches.
And the pitch.
Count is 3-2.
Squirts away a little bit, but no advance from the runners. On the ground, a second, might be 2. Out. Takes it to the bag, that's 1. On a Mountcastle, it's a double play. But a run will score in the inning on this RBI double. It's back here in Baltimore, all set for the bottom of the ninth. Here's the center fielder, Jorge Mateo. Swing and a high fly ball to left. March balls it in, and there's 1 away.
He's really about to get the Greg Mack special.
Down the third baseman, Jordan Westburg. Swing and a grounder foul, first base side.
And I'm just helping him.
Phil's leading by 2. We're in the last half of the ninth inning. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hey, look, we'll see how it factors in. I just can't emphasize how much that insurance run in the top of the ninth means. I mean, just such a big difference mentally when you're chasing 2 runs instead of 1.
1 down, base is empty. And another ball.
I haven't made him extend any significant injury all game, or energy all game.
Flew open a little bit with that front shoulder, but was able to slow his back down just enough to make contact with that pitch. Keep the at-bat alive.
And there's a ball. The Phillies up by 2 here in the last half of inning number 9. Outside, and that is ball 4.
Well, it might be time to dig into that bullpen.
Here's the new pitcher for the Phillies, Jose Alvarado.
And I can't imagine any save is an easy one. You're holding a small lead on the scoreboard, and you know those hitters are going to give you the best at-bats they can. So it's always high stress. Let's see what he's got here to try and close it out.
The tying run at the plate. Swing and a ground ball out to short. Over to Stott for 1. That's a double play. The ball game is over. 2-0 your final here in this one. For Chris Singleton and our entire crew here.
I'm not disappointed with the way I played.
Thanks for stopping by. I'm John Shambi.
Can't win when you don't score.
Our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Philadelphia Phillies. 2 runs, 9 hits.
I'm not even that unhappy with, I mean, Webb threw 1 bad pitch.
For the Orioles, no runs on only 2 hits. No errors. They left 3 runners on base. Time of the ball game, 2 hours.
Oh well, gotta bounce back. And the rookie is on the mound. You see it, it's Cade Ovage. Be on the mound. But we're not playing that game tonight. We are done for the night. Thank you, everybody. Links will be in the description. The description will be up in a little bit here. Have a great rest of your night.